Welcome to 3 Season of Pod, episode 22, I believe, right? This is episode 22?
I think so.
Yeah, probably. I remember doing that dumb joke last week, so it has to be 22.
21.
21. So, alright, we'll just jump right into it. C's Sixers Game 3 preview. So, we had a little bit of a discussion after Game 1. And then, obviously, for me, I wanted to wait till Game 2. I think the series is back in favor of the Celtics. I think.
Oh, for sure. I mean, for sure.
And I think it's mainly due actually to Embiid coming back. Mm-hmm. I think that knee. I know Embiid. Like, they're not a better team without Embiid. Let's get that out of the way real quickly. Like, that's just not a thing. But I don't know, man. That knee. He didn't look like he was dealing with it really well. And
I mean, I was gonna say you could tell in the second half he was tired.
Like he was,
and it makes sense though because he's like not the most well-conditioned player ever, anyways.
And he's coming off a lengthy absence,
off a knee injury, so staying out for a week or so or something like that, and having to not move. Like I think his only practice was like stand still threes and shit like that. So you could tell that he was like pretty gassed by the like third or mid third or something like that.
I wouldn't even say the start of the third, if we're being honest.
Honestly, I was saying that. I didn't want to just but
exaggerate. I mean, obviously, you guys don't watch the games. We live separately. But you guys asked Asia like the whole time I was watching the game. I know Embiid had 5 blocks in the first half, but the whole time I was yelling, "Keep fucking attacking!" Because I know that man was gassed. Like he was putting everything into that, and just every shot he took was just short. He did get into a little bit of rhythm late, but by then we were up by like 30. But no, I think at this point, the way whatever the fuck the injury is, they're calling it a lateral tear. That should have took 4 to 6 weeks.
I don't even know the actual name of it. No,
it was something with his.
But
knee.
I do know it was supposed to take longer.
It's supposed to take 4 to 6 weeks, and he came back after like a week and a half. I think, dude, that just derails everything they do defensively because Embiid's their anchor. He's gonna block a few shots, but one, there's no lateral movement, and we have guards that are way too fast to not take advantage of that, and obviously the Jays. And I think if he continues to play, which he has to, if we're being honest, I don't know. It just sets it up for failure, and it's not his fault. Kudos to him for like roughing through it, unlike a former teammate. but I just don't think the outlook is that great, man. I don't know how you guys feel.
I mean, I agree. Even after game 1, I mean, I knew that was gonna happen, and then. Regardless, it was like the C's were gonna win it in my opinion. Still, like it may. I don't know if we all called it, but I was like, if that was a game to lose,
that was the trap game.
We were obviously gonna lose the trap game.
Exactly.
My sentiments came more from like just the way that the team is for the most part. It's just like extremely frustrating. And because they're so talented, we already know that they're gonna win this series. But I don't know if that is like good enough, you know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
I feel you.
Yeah. I do think now with Embiid actually back, it does favor us even more because of how much slower they play because of Embiid, of course. And then just him being injured and not 100%, like you were saying, he was gassed in the whole basically like second half. And if he's not like making or having like crazy shot making games, they're not really gonna win.
Yep.
Especially playing with that like that slow play style that they have generally played with him. So we definitely match up better when Embiid is playing, regardless of if he's healthy or not.
Agreed.
So the fact that he is playing but also injured just gives us even more like confidence, I guess, that we will pull out the series. But yeah, that whole like the game 1 thing wasn't even like scared of like not winning the series and stuff, but just the idea that the Celtics are,
and it definitely highlighted like the annoyances that we've experienced since the
100%. That was like that's even all it was. To the max, man. Like we've obviously all seen like ugly like C's shit. Yeah, but that was just like horrendous, bro.
The thing is though, it's like I think I saw someone on Twitter say this. I forget who, so I can't give credit. But like at this point, I don't think it's a bug. It's a feature. That's just it is. It's just who they are at this point. It's annoying, but you know what? We gotta roll with it.
But that's why I'm like, I can't have complete confidence in this team.
Nah, I feel
for the chip. I think overall in the East, I'm very confident overall.
Yeah.
But even low key, like Miami, like if they make it to
I'm not scared of Miami. I would be scared of the Knicks. I'd be scared of the
I
Heat.
don't know, man. I feel like Coach Bo will run fucking laps around Missoula.
I agree he would run
Easily.
laps, but the only reason I say I wouldn't be scared of the Heat is we don't know how the context of Jimmy's injury.
I mean that for sure.
And that motherfucker gonna be gassed, man. Unless Bam steps up,
he is
gonna be gassed.
But I mean, there is that still Heat thing, and like coaching is just a huge part for me.
Not for sure.
And seeing like Coach Bo like thoroughly, even I mean, we'll get into like the whole Knicks stuff, but even his whole game plan, like I was giving Tibbs like a lot of credit, and I'm like, yo, I don't know what I'm looking at right now at the time, but it's all good. But yeah, in terms of Boston overall, like what Eastern Conference Finals and championship, whoever they do versus in the finals, it just doesn't make me completely like sure that they're gonna win it all and all that kind of stuff because of lapses like this. And they get away with being the most talented team in the NBA for like 3 years now, and that's why they've been in the Eastern Conference Finals. Out of all the like those 3 year span has been like pretty consistent, and they've obviously reached the finals last year. So it just scares me, but and it just blows the fuck out of me. But I do still think obviously we're gonna beat the Sixers. And if Embiid was healthy and that fucking vintage ass James Harden was still present, which I don't think he will be. I don't know where the fuck that came from. It would be a much scarier overall. I don't think it's too much. I don't think it's too much of a scary series. And low key, your guys' prediction of 5 could be true. I could see them just winning out from the rest of the series.
Same.
Yep. Not for sure. I agree with you guys, but for Rizak, I don't remember. But I did say that the first game, it was, ups and downs. I think offensively we kind of like performed, but defensively we clearly weren't there. But I was like, it was a trap game. Like he wasn't playing, so I feel like I mean, during the season when we played OKC and Indiana, for example, like the best player wasn't out. We lost those games because we kind of like took a back seat. We're like, oh, all right, like we're just gonna cruise to this win. So of course, like the first game, playoffs, whatever, is cool, but I think we clearly weren't ready. Like we kind of just, we're coasting.
We underestimated them as usual.
Yeah, which is crazy that we still do this, bro.
Yep, and then like I also was saying like we need to see Embiid on the floor. Like, I feel like that's the best version of us. Like when we see the best player, like we come out and we want to prove something. Like we all know, like we said, the talent's there, but I think when we see the competition on the other side, that's when we rise to the challenge. And it takes me back to like the IT days, like see us rise, like especially in the playoffs. Like we definitely thrive under that type of pressure.
Underdog mentality.
Exactly. That's what I want to get back to. But yeah, I mean, bro, like season 5, I can see that for sure. Because when Embiid playing, I think like, again that's just gonna fall back. Like JB's gonna just want to come out and kill. Same with JT. Like even though he didn't have a good game too, like I think that just shows the talent. We're just heights above the Sixers, and I think we're easily just gonna not easily, but we'll take care of business, and I think we'll just move on. And yeah, bro, like that shit. Like I mean, it hurts to see some of the games, but it's like you gotta live with it, bro.
Yeah, that's just honestly at this point that's just the fucking trademark of being a Celtics fan. You just grow to expect like, they're gonna fuck something up at some point.
For sure.
Like whether it be in game in a 20-point lead or just like a team they should be dominating, like, and then they lose by 50 to the OKC Thunder. So.
Yes. Well, I will say that the coaching thing still like stands in my opinion. Like
for sure.
It's interesting that and I mean I don't hate it because we don't really see how everything's gonna play out. But like solidifying that he is going to be the coach for the future and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Even before like a playoff series happened, was kind of interesting. Because I mean he made adjustments for game 2. But they were the most obvious of adjustments.
He made the adjustments we wanted them to play with in the beginning.
Exactly. So all the stuff that we already like knew of. So I'm not going to give him like crazy credit for that. Obviously, we've seen coaches who make no adjustments, so that's cool. But we just don't know how good Joe is going to be overall. And I think that is like a scarier part. And there's definitely like a drop off. Not that it's a crazy thing or whatever like that, but like obviously there's a drop off in my opinion compared to what we had with Ime. And for people to not act like that is true is like they're just blinded by
Mhm.
the success that they had with such a talented roster.
Right.
So that was just the things that I'm trying to like give or like get my point across.
Yeah.
But I'm not like obviously being a doomer and all that kind of shit.
Mhm.
But it is like significant, at least in my opinion. I do see obviously a difference, and
Mhm.
there's just stuff to like be aware of because
Yeah,
we weren't
for
looking
sure.
like this deep into the playoffs last year.
Yeah, for
and overall,
sure.
it's just like I still think it's going to be 6. I could see, like I said, 5
Mhm.
in a realistic or in a hopeful world, but
Yeah.
the C's being the C's, I just do think they're going to drop another game in a stupid ass fashion.
Yeah.
And it ends up going 6.
Mhm.
And then that's what I'm saying. Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know in terms of like who I still like choose between that matchup, but Coach Bo will fucking scare me, bro. I'm like 100% about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And regarding the Missoula thing, the only thing I would say I'm really kind of annoyed with, because I've been a Joe defender pretty much all year. However,
Yeah.
I will say it's very annoying to like see he's still doing that thing where he's like, figure it out.
Yeah.
Instead of like making the
That's
obvious adjustment. And I think for game one particularly, get Al out of the game. He wasn't hitting shots.
Oh
he
my
wasn't
God,
playing
thank the
defense.
Lord, bro.
He wasn't
Yep.
rebounding. Like, get Rob in the game. He played 20 minutes.
20 fucking
You know what I'm
minutes,
saying?
bro.
And
Exactly.
And every time he was in was
it
when
was
we would have
very
a good
positive.
When we
lead.
had-
Exactly.
yeah.
Like, dude.
So like in the fourth quarter, the guys that started the fourth played the entire fourth,
Mhm.
except for like 2 minutes of Rob going into the fourth, and then he subbed them out
Yeah.
for Al. I thought that
Yeah.
was a problem. But and like I said, that comes down to like the adjustments. Will he make the adjustments game to game or in game? And I feel like in the playoffs, you gotta do that shit in game.
You gotta
You
do
can't-
both for sure.
Yeah, you can't do
Yeah.
just one. You can't like obviously you make adjustments game to game, but you need to
Yeah.
do it literally like at halftime, like what we see consistently from Coach Spo in the Heat and consistently from Steve Kerr in the Warriors. Like
Mhm.
they consistently make in-game adjustments. Like, okay, this wasn't working in the first half. Let's adjust here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and I mean that was even like Ime's like, or like Ime wasn't doing even that at the times too.
Mhm.
Like he would not make the most radical changes, I guess,
Right.
in game. So it's not like I'm saying Ime had that over him, but
Yeah.
we do want to see Joe be capable of doing something
Yeah.
like that, especially something as obvious
Yeah.
as that.
And
They're just keeping Robin.
yeah, and the thing with Ime, and I will always give credit to Ime for this, is with him, this team had the identity. The
Yeah.
identity was defense.
Mhm.
I honestly, like, I know the identity is supposed to be Missoula ball, run pace, and shoot threes, but, like, I mean, yeah, man, let's hang our hat on defense instead. I'd rather have that. And I will
With our personnel, bro.
And we have literally the best personnel defensively in the
To do
league,
that.
Yep.
like
Which is
bar none.
also what is like
Yeah.
hella frustrating for me. But
Yeah.
I can't like hate on it too much because, like
Yeah.
I said, if there was if there was ever a year to like we can get away with just being the most talented, it is probably this year
Mhm.
because no one knows who the hell is like consensus favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we might be able to just pull it out by being the most like stacked roster.
And
Essentially,
you know what? I'm taking that every.
No, 100%. I'm taking that shit too. Yeah.
Give me the ring. I don't text. I'm gonna be
No,
at the
100
text. I'm gonna be
No,
at the
100%.
parade.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm be at the
Exactly.
parade, jumping up and down, MVP,
100%.
MVP. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, I can't
Yeah.
even like say we're not gonna win this shit, but man, it is
for
frustrating
sure.
to like if that was the way that we win it, but hell, I'm still taking it. Fuck it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Uh,
shit, I was kind of like, I want to chime in on the Missoula shit. Like, I know I seen a post. Somebody was talking about like, obviously, there's people out there that are just always going to nitpick Joe and all of his coaching and how he runs like shit. But I think that they were saying like, kind of goes to show like he doesn't have that real like NBA experience, which I also see. It's like Ime had playing experience in the NBA, so he kind of understands like, oh, okay, you do have to make in-game adjustments. You have to have counters going to halftime. Okay, Doc is gonna make this adjustment. We gotta kind of like counter that.
And he had a coaching experience, man.
Yeah, he was
No,
an
for
assistant
sure.
for like
Like
10
consistent,
years. Yeah.
consistent
Under
coaching
Greg
experience.
Popovich is crazy.
Yeah.
So, and then like with Joe, it's like he was under Brad, he was under Ime, but it's like you obviously gotta find your own niche and your own like style, which I guess we assume is Missoula ball. But I think if people were just like brought it up, like we kind of lost Damon Stoudemire, who was
That was a huge loss. I still
a
think.
huge loss for us. Like he went to go be a head coach in college. I forgot what team, but and they were kind of like throwing like, oh, we let him go when we could have maybe had him as a head coach. Like we could have seen something different. But I mean, like for me, I don't know. I think I kind of like I'm always like that underdog mentality type thing. So having Joe, like I'm cool. Like I'm a ride with it. I feel like his potential is there. So
No, for
no
sure.
matter like
Yeah, for sure.
what goes on, like he's gonna learn. He's gonna like, despite whatever the outcome is this season, chip or not, I feel like this year's probably going to be a stepping stone in the right direction. If we make like the right moves, or even if we win, I feel like it's just gonna go up from here. But you know, I just kind of want to address that because it's like, yeah, we let him go, but it's like Missoula. I feel like same like when we hired Brad and Ime, it's like we kind of saw the vision. So
yeah, I mean, I agree. I think he's gonna be a great coach, and I mean, I think he's a really good coach at the moment. But I don't know if we can. Like I said, this is me being hyperbolic, but I do still think like we have a very good chance of winning the finals. So even me saying this isn't me being a hater or anything. But I could see a world where Joe isn't the coach that we needed like right now, because this is like championship or bust type shit.
It is super important for a coach.
So that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, I do think Joe will be a great coach, even like a few years down the line when he's like has been doing it. But I don't know if that was the coach, or he was the coach that we needed immediately. And obviously they were put in a bad situation, and it's like they had to find a cover like 4 days before the season type shit. So I can't like even hate that. But my only thing is like solidifying that he's going to be the coach for the 4 years coming before we playoff series.
You know, even with the contract concession, unless barring a championship run this year, like a win, not a make it to the final, maybe even make it to the finals and lose. I could see a world where if Joe doesn't make it to the finals, he has a much shorter leash than you would expect from a typical hire like that. Yeah. Just because the window is not as big as we would have imagined anymore.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, so I think, especially with how like a lot of key players aging, I could see a world where Brad is smart enough to know, especially with the experience he's had with the team and with the players, like at some point, if Joe's not working out, I could see him pulling a Pat Riley, bro.
Oh, for sure.
And I would love that, by the way. Like Brad, I love Brad, man. Brad is probably the most underrated coach of our generation. So
yeah, Brad was definitely one of my favorite.
He's my favorite.
Coming in and just like going crazy with the rosters all the time.
Bro, that man literally had the Celtics overperforming every single year.
Yeah. And even like the Brad and Joe thing is so different because Brad has like seen success even on that like that college level, and like obviously won championships or a championship there.
I think he made it. No, he didn't.
Or he made it.
He made it to back-to-back championships. I think with Butler.
Yeah. So that experience on its own, I just feel like that is also different too. But yeah, I mean that's enough of the coach talk.
But yeah,
I'm still riding with Joe.
Obviously. Yeah, but and as far as the series outlook is concerned, I still see season 5, just especially with Embiid playing again.
I still got 6.
Yeah,
just because
we can fumble. 5-6 is pretty much
5-6 for me.
Yeah. Celtics. Cool. Moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then the second game tonight, Suns Nuggets. Oh my God, dude! Like, listen. Okay, I didn't think it would be just
telling y'all, man. The Nuggets, bro.
Going into the series, I think just watching the Clippers series with the Suns. I think we brought this up in the playoff preview for round 2, where like I don't know, I'm questioning the way the Suns play. Like it's straight up just iso ball, and I think Mike Malone said this, and I love the quote where he's like, if you're going to make tough twos for 48 minutes, I'll take that every time because we're going to beat you every time. And
basically,
it's true. They take a lot of tough shots, bro. Like KD and Book have to create. And we saw that as an issue for even the Jays for a while. You know what I mean? Specifically with the years where we didn't have Al to facilitate the offense. Like, those are some tough fucking years, bro. And I think we're seeing that from the Suns. We're seeing that from the Suns where it's like, it's give it to KD, give it to Book, hope they make a fucking great play and score, and then that's it. CP3, old man now, dominating, not really.
Hell no.
You seen that clip? You seen that clip where he was just standing like under the basket watching them rebound? Like, I don't know, man, but I do. I mean, for tonight at least, the one game where, and we feel this way about KD and Book, where they can just go sicko mode and win a game. This is probably the game they win, but as far as my outlook for this series, I don't know, bro. It might be Nuggets in 5.
Bro.
It might be Nuggets in 5, bro.
No, I agree, dude. That's what I've been trying to say, man. So outside of the Clippers series, I agree. All the same sentiments.
Mhm.
And they've kind of been doing everything that I've been saying. In terms of Denver obviously being a team, I didn't think that Phoenix was magically going to find like this ball movement, teamwork type shit. It's literally just you get their own. And even when D-Book and Katie were trying to take more threes the
Mhm.
second game, it was all like their own created shots.
Yep.
Yeah.
It wasn't like spot up 3-point shooter,
Within the
3-point
flow of
shots
the
and stuff like
offense
that.
and shit.
Yeah, so even that is hella like tiring for them. And it makes it even harder, obviously, to continue to pull performances out like that.
For sure.
And obviously we saw CP kind of have like I think it was a hamstring or groin injury.
It was a groin injury. Yeah.
So that will obviously play a part, but that's just unfortunate. And the CP, tradition. Oh, whenever they get into the playoffs, he's always gonna get hurt somewhere, whatever year it is.
Somehow. Yeah.
And yeah, Denver has just been playing really good as a team, and even defensively, like I was saying, they're not like playing as crazy defensively as the Celtics were on KD,
Mhm.
but I do think that those same recipes are like applying. Where like I think game one, KD coughed the ball up like 7 times,
Yep.
and like he could not get like a flow going, and they just have like a lot of length, and they're not afraid to body you, obviously, because it is like the Bruce Browns, Aaron Gordons, and stuff of the world. And those guys are all like just grittier players. And it's definitely been like hindering KD for a while because this is 2 games in a row where he's been inefficient, and everyone was saying against the Celtics, oh, he's gonna go off one of these games, and it just never happened. And I don't doubt that D-Book or KD is gonna go crazy. I wouldn't be shocked either if both of them went crazy on the same game, like you're saying for today. But
Probably what
yeah,
it'll take for them to win, if we're being honest.
exactly for them to win a game. That's like literally the win condition at the moment, where both of them have to go off. And I just don't think that with Denver's personnel that both of them are going to consistently even go off. I think it may just be a 1-game thing where they go off. But yeah, I could even a sweep would be crazy, bro.
It has to have some conversations.
About KD, how it would be crazy.
Yep, for sure. I don't know. Watching those first 2 games, bro, I think you could just clearly tell there's levels to this shit, bro. Honestly, like Denver is just on another level, team wise, team oriented. Like their brand of basketball is just like just tormenting on the Suns. It's just like it looks like they're an AAU team just with 2-star players. Just all right, you better hope that they have a good game in order to win.
Pretty much.
I think so. I don't know. I think obviously, like I think I had the Suns in 6, but bro, Denver is just too elite right now that I think the Suns just have no freaking chance. Like a sweep would be crazy, like you said, but I think the Suns they're probably going to take at least one. Oh, for sure, easily.
Where's the world where they do it?
They're going to take at least. I can see them take at least 1 game. I mean, that's hopeful for their fucking franchise, but bro, I feel like with them having KD, that's their hope. But I mean, losing CP3 is obviously going to hurt, even though he hasn't had such a good series or even playoffs in general. But I think Denver is just going to easily outplay them. Like they have all these weapons that they could throw at them, and they're just well-rounded overall. Whereas the Suns, bro, they have no bench, like we said, and just KD and Booker just going to have to freaking go to work, bro. And eventually, that's just going to I feel like they're going to get tired. KD is going to get gassed, low-key. Devin Booker probably not as much, but Devin Booker, in my opinion, is just not capable enough to freaking carry, like hard carry like KD would, in my opinion.
I agree. It is a little bit different. I do think KD like takes over a complete game, even defensively. Like he's super underrated defensively.
Well, but yeah, the points, but he it's not the impactful like way that KD would do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, we're seeing obviously again the value of actually having depth, especially with teams being like much more well-rounded nowadays compared to just like big three type shit. So that has been really good to see, and Jokic has definitely been doing a lot better. So I remember I referenced before the series started how Ayton did a really good job on him like 2 years ago, and obviously it was Ayton being a lot more engaged. But just his physicality and like size definitely bothered Jokic, and 2 games already in, like Jokic has seemed very like comfortable. And it looks like he's not being like stopped very much. Obviously, game 1, he even like the field goal percentage and all that stuff, he had like 4 missed layups in one sequence, so I don't even count that as like a bad game per se. But the second game, you clearly saw him like just fucking take over and like outshine KD, which is kind of crazy.
Easily.
Yeah, and then I mean, shit. Maybe there's even a conversation about Monty over there.
Could be.
Because Joe not making adjustments, neither Monty. I'm just saying.
You just complaining about the free throws, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And they took 46 free throws to move on too. I don't know, but and that's not a knock on like Monty as a person, but like you got to question the coaching at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done a great job getting them to be like consistent playoff team and all that kind of stuff. But
and it honestly falls back to that conversation we had before, offline. Obviously, like some coaches are just those bridge coaches, rather. They lead you to where you might need to be, but they can't take you over the top. And then,
it's the Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr conversation all over.
100%, bro. 100%.
That is like the prime example of something like that.
That ass. Yeah. You know, and then Monty can join us as an assistant. You know what I'm saying?
So, I mean, we're taking Steven Silas, so
hey, shit, we might get Bud as an assistant too. I don't know. All right. So I'm assuming all of us have what, Nuggets in 5 most likely.
Nuggets in 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I said Nuggets in 6 before, but I'm cool with changing it to 5.
Shit, I had Suns in 7. I'm changing it to Nuggets in 5. It's a complete flop, baby. I mean, you gotta play it as the series goes, you know, and that's just how it's going. Sorry, Katie. Katie's one of my favorite players to watch, but goddamn, it's just not. It's not looking good, baby. Not looking good. All right, next series. Let's talk Knicks Heat. Okay, so look, this. I probably would have a different opinion if Jimmy Butler didn't get hurt. But
he looked like he's coming back, so we'll see how
he's probably gonna play, but he's gonna be playing hampered. I'm not.
I just want to see how hampered.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in seeing. The fact, I think he obviously sat game 2 because they've already secured the 1-1, situation instead of going down OT, whatever. Yeah, I don't know if I'm changing my prediction. I'm obviously keeping it Knicks 6 personally.
Yeah,
but it's hard to kind of view this series in the correct manner just because of Jimmy's potential injury. Because the whole dynamic of that team changes because you take out playoff Jimmy. I don't know how I feel about the Heat. That team should be
hell no, they're not even in the playoffs.
That team should be in the lottery, trying to go for Victor Wembanyama. You know what I mean? So I don't. For me, it's hard to. I gotta reserve the judgment as far as how the Heat go. I got Knicks in 6, with or without the injury.
No, I agree. It is conflicting because I would say Miami has easily looked better these 2 games. But there's just the factor of Jimmy Butler not playing, or even if he does play, how well he's gonna look. So I mean, I do think I am still sticking with New York too, in like the 6. But Miami has clearly looked better.
Yes.
And there have been like really weird, I guess like just really weird games from New York recently. Like they don't look like the team that was going crazy against the Cavs. The amount of one of the most obvious things is the amount of open shots that they've been giving to Miami's threes.
Oh my god!
Have been insane.
Yeah.
And on the offensive end, like I was saying a little in the group chats a little bit too. Well, like while they don't have like crazy fucking defenders or like all NBA defenders and stuff like that, they are just grittier and smarter defenders overall compared to what the Cavs were putting out, especially on the perimeter. Because obviously Dono might be your best perimeter defender, which is pretty bad. And then on the wings you have Okoro, which was a toss up about if he could even be playing like a full offensive deficiencies. While Miami just has a bunch of personnel that they can throw at you. And even the ones that aren't like regarded as great defenders are still like very gritty. And we've seen that obviously firsthand. So I just assumed, and it has been true so far, where when they really need to lock in, New York is struggling to find a flow of some sorts. Jalen Brunson did a good job of like coming back game 2 and like putting on that 30 or dropping that 30 on them and stuff. But that defense has been very confusing to me. Obviously I was giving Tibbs a lot of credit because I assumed that he could at least match up a little bit better compared to Coach Bud but Coach Bud has been looking great, man, and that defensive like identity, I guess, for New York, like I'm saying, was very weird because they're giving a lot of open threes for a team who is hella hot from three
to be
to start the
fair,
playoffs.
Miami's offense runs completely different than Cleveland, where Cleveland was, hey, Darius, Donovan, please create something.
It's something
Pick and
like
roll,
You know what I mean?
100%.
You
Yeah.
know, and then
No, I agree.
yeah.
Their offense is different, but I'm like, Tibbs is regarded as a defensive coach, so I'm like, I'm hoping that he realizes that giving these guys open threes is not the move.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, even game 2 was like Josh Hart made like really timely threes
Mhm.
to really like pull them out. But outside
Yeah.
of that, it was very like it could have gone either way, and that doesn't even give me hope because Jimmy Butler wasn't there. So I still got Knicks because I don't know how Jimmy Butler's gonna look, but
Agreed.
yeah.
Yeah, nah, I agree. I think I'm gonna keep mine at Knicks at 6-2. I think again, Jimmy Butler, it all depends on how he comes. But I think even if he comes back like, 75, 80%, I feel like, the series maybe, could go to 7 potentially. But I think, I think obviously his dynamic on the floor kind of like changes the whole Miami Heat scheme of things, I guess. Like when they have him, I feel like they've shown it already that they could compete with anybody, and they weren't like they don't look like an 8 seed team. But and then on the Knicks side, I think they kind of like did, but it's like they go through their own shit too. Like they have their lapses. It's just clear. I think Tibbs is always like I he kind of like all over the place sometimes. Like you'll have just I don't know. It's just weird. Like you could have them rolling, and the next thing you know, they're just like stuck in the mud type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but like
Which is why they've
again,
been so up and down the past like 3 years.
yeah, for sure. But like I still have faith in them, I guess, because Julius kind of like caught rhythm in that game too. After that, re-aggravating that ankle injury, Jalen Brunson had to show up 30 point. But I think the key for the Knicks is for Randall to. I think just be Julius, bro. Be that play that all-star type level. If he does, I could maybe in a dream world they win the next. They just win out. They win in 5, even regardless of if Jimmy Butler comes back and is healthy or not. But I think just that and for the Heat, I mean, it all depends on Jimmy, bro. Like it's how he bounces back. Like yeah, even though he's back, it'll open up shots and opportunities for everybody else around him. But I think him at semi like high level of play in order for them to win like at least win the series and just even win a couple more games to be honest.
I think I think in terms of number prediction or whatever, I think it will go 7. Damn, I might be going to Miami, bro. I might be going Miami. I just think about the Celtics series. While Jimmy was banged up too, and he had like 3 stinkers. Yeah, the man just turned up towards the end. He just turned up towards the end, and he just willed them to like a game in Game 7 and potentially making the fucking finals. That shot was crazy.
It was one shot away. Listen, my heart, I almost died.
My heart dropped to my fucking.
I almost died. Like time went in slow motion. I felt like a fucking anime character. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, woo.
Yeah. So I honestly think that I might go Miami in 7.
Damn.
Listen,
just because even if he's injured, I do think he'll go crazy.
I will. As far as
I see that,
okay,
sure.
And yeah, go ahead.
I can see that, but I think just the Knicks. I think they just have a lot more to prove in a sense. Like like they're number 5 seed. They just took out number 4 seed. Like the Heat do. They just obviously took out Milwaukee, but I think the Knicks are just like I said. I think they're more well-rounded. They have a lot of good supporting pieces around them. Whereas Miami is like they lost their probably 2 of their most important players in Oladipo and Tyler Hero. So I think their role players are going to only be able to step up for so long, in my opinion. Whereas the Knicks is like they have capable players to kind of like fulfill that role. And if Jimmy Butler does kind of pull that shit, all props to him, like for real. Like, but I think it's just the Knicks, just in my opinion, they have that upper like advantage right now.
I will say this, okay? I want to preface this with I still got Knicks in 6. But in a world where Jimmy is not as hampered as we think he is, and they're just playing it cautious because they secured the 1-1 split.
That's what I'm thinking, man.
I can see a world, and we talked about this before, where the Knicks, the way they play, the gritty defensive style where they obviously don't have like a personnel, let's say like a Boston, obviously, where all world defense people, and it's just straight up effort and grittiness. That's tiring, man. And I can envision a situation where if Jimmy's healthy, the Heat just hang around in every game, and that difference maker is huge, man. When you have a guy like Jimmy Butler who can just win to a win in a close game, because that's what happened in Milwaukee. Like obviously they made a bit of a comeback, but then from like the 6-minute mark to like the 3-minute mark, they kind of just hung around.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy was like, "Fuck it, sicko mode time, right?
Over.
And I'm gonna take over."
Yeah.
I could see a world where the Knicks, where they prioritize defense, obviously, but in that gritty, grindy Memphis type style shit without the talent, obviously.
Yeah.
That shit really fucks with their offense, and you know
I'm
how
saying,
they get stagnant for that reason, similar to how the
So-
Celtics did last year. But
Yeah,
they don't
that-
have
I
the same
like-
talent. Yeesh.
What is it? You talk about the personnel of the Knicks and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I think so far they haven't been like. And for
So
me,
that's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
so like for me to think that they're gonna become impressive or like be the team that was like playing like they were against the Cavs is much. I feel like it's less likely for me to think that because of the game planning that the Heat will have.
Yeah.
Like I have so much faith that Spo can neutralize or like stop a lot of the extra shit that is going on. And like obviously like the stars will get their own. But I just have so much faith in him to be able to do that the Heat are very comfortable. And even referencing the Milwaukee stuff, like the last like 6 minutes type shit, where in those like really ugly games and like scenarios, they're super consistent. All the role players, like I wouldn't even say that the role players stepped up, but they just seem extremely comfortable. Like you see Kyle Lowry, Caleb Martin, Dave Vincent, like they're all playing the way that they normally would play, and they're much more comfortable in those like high pressure situations, I guess overall. So I think a lot of those games will end up going to those like last 6 minute. It's a very game, very ugly basketball where no one's really hitting shots. And I just think that Miami can execute in those scenarios a bit better than the Knicks because of who they are. You know what I'm saying? That is why I'm like I could see it just going to 7. And this is just me also saying that Jimmy is going to be fine.
This is all this is predicated on Jimmy Butler being healthy.
Yeah, so that's why I am going Miami in 7 because I do think Jimmy will be fine at one point of the series. Like whether that is today or I mean tomorrow or whatever or like game 4 or 5 or whatever like that. I do think once he's good, he'll be able to just get them a few wins and get to that game 7 at least.
Listen, I don't care who wins, just let it go 7. Fuck each other up.
No, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? You know what
Go
I'm saying?
crazy, go game 7.
Go ahead, go game 7, go to triple OT. I don't give a fuck. Like, just fuck each other up. Like Jimmy, yo, that's that knee, baby. But yeah. But no, I could see a world where that can go 7, but we'll see. I still got Knicks in 6, but please go 7, please. Like I'll take it.
I hope it does.
6.
And then the final series, we didn't get to talk about this last week because the seeding wasn't when we recorded our episode. But Lakers Warriors, ooh, this one. Okay. Game 2 aside, game 1 was very fun to watch.
Yes.
The Lakers almost blew it. But
they have a tendency to do that.
So 1-1, we got kind of a clean slate. It's a 5-game series. We're headed to LA. LA with the home court. Yeah. I don't know, man. The way I'm watching, I could see. I think the series goes 7.
Yep, I agree.
I might have the Lakers, bro.
I'm saying, bro.
I might have the Lakers, bro. You know who's really impressed me this series?
Vando?
So far, Vando. That defense, like I obviously don't get a chance to watch a lot of Minnesota Timberwolves games.
Dude, I love Vando.
And I didn't get a good chance to really watch Jazz games other than when they play the Celtics, right? Because they play late all the time. But that perimeter defense he's been playing on Steph Curry is very impressive. Like
that's why I said, bro, we need to get him.
With that.
We got Vando.
Dude, that's what we were begging for him at the trade deadline.
He would have been amazing.
He would have been huge, man. Him taking over Grant and Sam Howard, bro.
Oh my god.
But no, I've been very impressed with the way Vando has been playing Steph. And I think when it comes to the Warriors, how you're able to defend Steph Curry can decide whether or not you win a game against those guys, not series games.
Yep.
And Steph is just great. Like you're not stopping Steph, but I think Vando's been making him work, and that game one was that was the difference there. Obviously, game two, I think the whole world thought that. Well, anybody that with a brain thought the Warriors were going to blow out the Lakers in game two because it just was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, even like referencing Vando and stuff like that, like the defense just wasn't the same in game two, which was
yeah, exactly.
fine. I think they kind of just like checked out.
They got the
because
1-1 split, and
yeah,
was
they
fine.
got what they wanted, which was that first game one win.
Mhm.
But you can also see that when the Lakers lock in, they look like special.
They look really good.
But they also have the tendency to like potentially blow a lead, like we saw game one as well. I do think that this team will like lock in more than they will stray because they have LeBron on the team.
Yep.
And just him as like a game manager or just like a voice or like a person is like huge. So that's why I've been like on the Lakers boat overall. And just the fact that the front court size.
Yep.
We also saw the game one versus game two
AD,
thing.
yeah.
Where AD was just going crazy. But as soon as everyone starts gassing him up, he drops like 11 points,
Yep.
which is typical AD fashion.
That light skin shit, bro.
But I do think AD can do that more than he will not do that in this series. So I think he'll have more of those 30-20 performances than he'll have duds in a 7-game series against this team.
Yeah.
And yeah, just that size overall is just like crazy. Him, Vando, and LeBron, it was especially I'm referencing mainly game one because game two they were just going crazy. But game one it was very hard for them to get shots into the paint, and they were making a lot of the threes that they were taking surprisingly. But the Lakers still stay true to like playing their game, which is attacking the rim and defending the paint. And like together, like him or as in like LeBron, AD, and Vando had like 7-8 blocks combined, and it was just a huge presence because they weren't able to get to the rim the way that they normally get to the rim, but they just had the second thing a lot. And I felt like that applied a lot of pressure to the Warriors. And I see that continuing. I do think the Warriors obviously made great adjustments. I think they like started JaMychal Green. Yeah, and then Draymond Green was doing a good job on AD because obviously AD had a dud. But like I said, I don't think that continues. I think AD will remain engaged a lot more than he'll have like duds. So I still got the Lakers, and I'm telling you, man, I had them either one against the Kings or the Warriors. I have faith in them.
Not for sure. No, I can see that. But I just had a conversation yesterday with some of my coworkers. But I don't know, I kind of split between the Lakers and the Warriors right now. But I think it's definitely going to Game 7.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Part of me kind of thinks the Warriors are going to win. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers win.
That devil magic, bro.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Steph does have, the winning advantage over LeBron, but which not really is the reason why I'm taking the Warriors. But I just think, like for the Warriors, I think they always stay true to who they are. Like in the playoffs wise, like Steve Kerr's gonna make his in-game adjustments, and they're always gonna find a way to like compete, unless it's like obviously a blowout. But like Steph is gonna be Steph. I think if Clay is special on a night, I think they just kind of like ride it, and in those games, like they normally win those games, and so for that, and then like for all the other supporting players like Wiggins and Jordan Poole, like they're gonna have to be dependent on them too, for the Warriors, especially in a Game 7, and they do have that experience, but I think the Lakers kind of like, on the other hand, they kind of like tempt me a little more to kind of root for them because it's like, bro, it's LeBron and AD, like. And the only thing for the Lakers is like, bro, AD has to come out and be like aggressive from the get go. Like he got to be AD. Like I feel like that Lakers team, in my opinion, they're the best when AD is at his best. Like
100%.
anybody can say like LeBron had a decent, better Game 2 than he did Game 1, and they just got blown out. So, and AD put up that stinker. But if AD comes out aggressive and it kind of like sets the tone, the way that JB does for us. That's gonna like set them up for success.
Yeah.
So if it comes out with like, not even 30-20 games, just like a 25-15, bro. I feel like that would be enough because it kind of like spark the whole team, and they kind of get into their rhythm and then how they want to play. And for the Warriors, I feel like that's their worst nightmare. They don't want to see that again. Like another 30-20 game, AD going crazy. But I don't know. Like, they're just size in general, bro. The Warriors, that's going to be the biggest problem. Like, again, like they don't have anybody to counter Steph Curry and Clay, like on the wings. I mean, yeah, like guarding the three and shit. But when it comes down to freaking rebounding and all that, hustle plays and stuff, I feel like the Lakers got that, bro. They have all those more gritty players that just want to like dude, look at the Lakers, bro. They got Malik Beasley, and this dude's not even like
they got depth, bro. They got a lot of depth.
They have a lot of depth. Shout out Rudy.
He's been doing
crazy.
And then just to build on that a little bit though, for the Lakers point, I think when the Lakers play through AD, and that's pounding ground inside, getting foul calls, getting the other team in foul trouble, getting free throws, like I think there was something crazy like plus 400 on the year. When like in terms of free throw attempts,
some Lakers shit though.
Like some Lakers shit, they don't get the benefit of the doubt, by the way. But like and I hate, like I said, I'm a Celtic fan. I hate giving the Lakers credit, but that's how they win the series. You play through AD. AD dominates, and you saw literally a masterclass of that in Game 1. AD set the tone early. He had 23 rebounds. I mean, like it's just straight up where AD stuck to Looney to the point where he couldn't just dominate the offensive board. You know what I mean? And that's
which is crazy because he kind of did though.
He got 23 rebounds as well.
It was not the same.
It was not the same. Like
compared to when he was doing it against the Kings.
Yo, when we were watching him against the Kings in games 5, 6, and 7, like that shit was just you almost were like, yo, Looney might be a superstar. Like I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying like it's the type of impact he was having though.
Yeah,
those 18 to 20 rebounds, but man, the way
he was not bonus. He was not bonus, man. I said that.
Yo, he got that dog in him, and yeah, I think that'll be the difference in the series. AD, and I think, I think I'm with Kyle where I think more often than not, AD is gonna be that dude, right? He'll maybe have like another stinker in the bag, right? It's gonna pop out at some point, maybe Game 5 in Golden State, but I think. Yo, that's the difference right there, man. There's nobody to counter. As great,
he has been a generational like playoff performer.
Yeah,
actually,
he's
always been amazing in the playoffs. So that is something I never really like discount him for. Yeah, like barring injury, he has always been very, very good in the playoffs.
Yeah, and obviously health permitting. In an ideal world, lose, but I still got Lakers in 7.
Yeah, I think
you said 7 as well, Nathan, but for the Warriors.
The Warriors,
And how many games do you have, Kyle? You got
that's the Lakers. I didn't say a number yet, but I'm like I might just do 6, bro.
6.
I could see a world where if
it at home,
I could also see a world where if it goes 7, I don't know if the Warriors lose at home in 7.
That's what I'm saying. Like Warriors in 7 is like. That's kind of tough because Warriors, they're going to be playing at home.
I mean, shit, man.
But if there's anyone who can turn up for a game, it's LeBron.
It's LeBron, baby.
At the Warriors,
play, if
there's anyone who could do it, it's LeBron.
7, bro. That's what I'm saying. It has to go 7.
It's tough. And, hey, man, I can see a world where AD LeBron do that Kyrie LeBron meme again. You know what I'm saying?
It could happen.
I can see that. And, hey, man.
I'm going to be a little bold, though. I'll just say Lakers in 6.
Lakers in 6. I got Lakers in 7. I think
7, maybe.
And to be honest, this is one of those series, right? I honestly feel like it's a true toss-up, man. When a series goes 6 or 7, it's a toss-up. Most of the time, not all.
I'm just enjoying this matchup.
Yeah, I want as many games as possible of this.
It's great. It was news, but
it's not the same as the Knicks in the. And that's just
yeah.
I guess.
All right, but that's all we got. So, go Celtics, right? Let's get that game 3 win, baby. Until next time.
I'm praying, bro. We need that.
We need it, bro. I need it, yo. I got money on the line. Yeah. Until next time, signing off.
All right, peace.
Peace.